Hey there, everybody. We're so glad that you're joining us today for Success and the Female Entrepreneur. My name is Donna Woolam, and I'm your host today. But we have an incredible guest, Nancy Gavilanes, who is an author, a speaker. She's a coach. She does an incredible amount of things. And so today she's going to share with us just some wisdom and insight from her journey as an entrepreneur. As female entrepreneurs, sometimes we have just a few challenges that they're not life altering challenges, but because we're women, we just look at things differently, we do things differently, and we approach life in a different way. So today we're just going to talk a little bit about how Nancy navigated her journey, how she's navigating her journey, and what she has to share with us, because it's a tremendous amount of wisdom. Again, my name is Donna Woolam, and I am the founder and CEO of Living at My Best Global, and you can find me at donnawoolam.com. And Nancy, thanks so much for agreeing to be a guest and co-host today.
Yeah, oh, Donna, I'm so excited. Also to see you live last time we were on the phone. So
I know. And I just love that interview, that radio show interview, and people really are downloading that and loving that. And so I so love that chance. I think I was sharing with someone that I love the radio show that I do because it's so much more intimate. It's just the two of us just kind of chatting and going over things. But I love this through Blab, where we can actually get to see people and interact and hear people's voices and see their faces and get to know each other a little bit better.
Yeah, this is great. It's my first time, so I'm excited.
Hey, terrific. So what have you been doing lately? Before we get into some questions, what have you been doing lately in your book journey and some different things? What are you doing there?
Yeah, well, just recently I had my second book signing and event, and that was great. Yeah, it's wonderful to connect with my readers and to just see my friends and family who are supporting me. And I've just been doing different things and just sort of getting the word out about waiting on God well.
Oh, terrific. And whenever we're finished, we'll be sure and let everyone know how they can get your book and how they connect with you for sure. But I want to ask you, how did you get started writing, Nancy? What was the process? How did you get started there?
Well, I have to go back to childhood.
Wow.
And I used to keep diaries and journals, and I just thought that everyone did that. And I look back at them, and I was writing about, I went to the dentist today or something, just so silly. And by fifth grade, I was making my own little magazines with loose leaf paper.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, my sister and I would do that. And so I would do little fake celebrity profiles and movie reviews and advice columns, and that's how I would pass the time when we weren't playing with Barbies and dolls. That's what I enjoyed doing. So I guess looking back, it's not a surprise that I went on to major in journalism. And I look back and I see that it was a gift that God gave me. It was just something that came natural, sort of like laughing and smiling and breathing. I just didn't realize that not everyone is wired that way. So I went on to have a journalism career. I did well. I was meeting people and wrote for the New York Times and was working at a women's magazine in Times Square. I had a master's in journalism. And then the Lord asked me to lay it down.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was in shock. I'm like, wait, are you serious? This is all I've done. This is all the training that I have. But I was a big Olympics fan. And the Lord just showed me that it was an idol.
Wow.
And lay that all down. And as he was asking me to lay it down, I had a feeling that he would ask me one day to write for his glory.
Wow.
And it's been a process, but that's the season I'm in now.
Oh.
So, all this excitement, it's because I'm yay!
I love how our purpose and our calling shows its footprints from the very beginning of our life. Now, because you said that you were creating these magazines and celebrity, all of that kind of stuff. And my sister and I used to play either school or office. And I always wanted to be the boss and be the teacher. And I was talking to actually have a man who's going to be on my radio show, which is different, right? Because I usually interview women, but he helps women design their spaces around their life, and was talking with him, and he said that when he was a kid, sharing a room with his brother. He was always rearranging the furniture. So it was
Oh,
just,
yeah, there you go.
those success tracks are there, are those life goal tracks. So
Yes,
I,
yes. And
I
this,
love,
yeah, years before blogs existed or anything. So now I'm like, oh, it almost seems natural. I'm like, oh, okay, now it's not little loose leaf paper. It's, it's
yeah.
personal too. It's been a switch because even though I got the writing training, journalism is more about telling somebody else's story.
Yeah.
Where blogging and my books are more personal. So, there's still a learning curve.
There is. There is. So why did you write then Waiting on God Well?
Mm-hmm. Well,
Why
I
did
was
you write that?
going through a process, and I'm still coming out of a process of waiting on God. And, people would say, well, just trust in the Lord, wait on God. But I'm a dreamer and a doer, and I like practical things. So I'm like, but what do you do while you're waiting? Really, this book is just like lessons that I learned and very practical insights, wisdom, Bible verses. There's blank lines at the end with questions that people can fill in on their own, and they can do it on their own or with their small group. I'm finding that people are enjoying reading it with their small groups. And it's really just kind of taking you during that time, because a lot of times people think waiting on God means, well, I'm not going to do anything.
Yeah.
It's both extremes. Or you want to run ahead of God and, just talk to Abraham and Sarah about how that went, the detour that they took, and I think if you could ask them, they'd probably say, you know what, even if it takes a while, why don't you just wait on God?
That is so smart. I love that. The two extremes that we battle. And I'm sure that you probably talk about this in your book, but that waiting on God is being braided together with Him and tied together with Him and being right in His purpose and walking along with Him. So if there were some tips, because you had what you believe to be your course of life and you were walking down that path, and all of a sudden here you have this and off you're in another direction.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you share with other entrepreneurs that are just starting out? I know that that's a passion of yours to really speak to beginning entrepreneurs. It's mine as well, which I think is why we partner so well together. But what advice would you give for them?
And even I should share that while I was having success in my journalism career, I was far from the Lord.
Okay.
Yes. And so even though He was able to he's working it out for his good and His glory, so I realized that you can have all the success that you want, but if you don't have the Lord, it's empty. If you're going after your own goals and chasing that. So that's what I'm learning this time around. Like, oh, okay, you just want to be aligned with His will, and He'll open doors. Yes. Even this, I'm so excited to be here. But so I would like to share that one of the things is to just get ready, to be prepared. Because even though I took a detour, because God is guiding it, now that I look back, what I was learning, all the skills that I was learning in the nonprofit that I was working at for many years, they're all coming into play now.
Wow.
Yeah, and I learned about marketing and about fundraising and about social media, all of that I wasn't learning in the newsroom or even the year that I taught English. So now that I look back, I'm like, oh my goodness, none of that was wasted.
Yeah.
So I want to encourage people, take those lessons, go to those seminars, listen to podcasts and read those blogs and those books, and just really start getting all those skills. And you may not know when they come in handy, like the YouTube channel that I started. I just started like basically doing like little videos in my backyard or different places here, and it keeps growing. And I'm like, oh my goodness, Lord, like you just have to start somewhere. So I want to encourage people. And it could be even something like, let's supposing they want to open up their own restaurant or they enjoy cooking, something different. Get those new skills, learn those new cuisines, make that food for your friends, for your community, get that feedback. Like you can be doing things even though it may seem so far away. Oh, one day I'd like to have my restaurant. Well, watch those cooking shows, like everything, like just knowing that that's the direction that you're going in. So that's one thing I want to share. I'd also like to share, lean into your community.
Yeah.
I'm learning like how important it is. You can't be a lone ranger. And so leaning into them and partnering with them, being prayerful about it too. You know, you don't want to partner with just anyone, but being prayerful and seeing that, making sure that they're going in the same direction that you are. They hold like similar values and goals. So I would encourage them to lean into their community and also just go for it. You know, making the decision to leave my full-time job to pursue this, like that was a big decision. It was a long time coming, but I had peace about it.
Yeah.
But even opportunities like learning new platforms, new media, just exploring, praying about it. And what I'm finding is that I'm praying, God is opening up doors, and I'm taking steps of faith. I'm walking through them.
Wow. That is so, so good. And I love that you just start where you are. You start because it would be silly for someone who wanted to own a restaurant or be a restaurateur or the world's most renowned chef if they never even figured out how to turn on the stove.
Right.
You know, that it was like, oh, someday, but did nothing about that. So that's super smart. Super smart.
Just start where you are, and get that experience. Volunteer, you know, even if people are active in their church, you know, sign up for different activities that are along your giftings, but also try some other things, explore too, and see maybe you have like undiscovered gifts.
That's so smart. That is so smart. And you know how you talked about just walking along that path and that nothing was wasted in what you learned. And I know I've seen that in my own life, Nancy, where I remember we were getting ready to make a big move, and I needed to have a full-time job when I got there. So I sat down. I mean, I was so young in the Lord and so young in so many ways, but I just said, okay, I've done this and I've done this and I've done this. So Lord, I just pray and ask that you would open doors of opportunity for me that would take advantage of all my skills. And the first job that I got after we moved was exactly that. It took every one of those skills and put them into a place. And you know, the Lord knows what he's doing. So you're so smart that it's not wasted. It's just you go forward in what you're doing.
Right.
So you have a lot of things going on. Obviously, you have a YouTube channel, you're a writer, you have a book. What projects are you working on?
Well, now I'm also focused on life coaching, and I'm just getting started, but I'm excited about that too. I'm sort of a natural encourager, and I know what it's like to be stuck, to have like these dreams and these desires and not know how to navigate that, and I'm still navigating too, but so I'm looking forward to working with fellow dreamers and social creative entrepreneurs and just those who want to make a difference, visionaries. You know, because a lot of times you kind of see things before people do, and they kind of second guess you. And so I just want to encourage. I want to be that person, kind of cheering them on and helping them out. And I will be sharing that for those who are listening. For those who'd like to sign up and get alerts from Abounding Faith, I'd like to offer a free 20-minute Discover Your God-Given Passion and Purpose call. For those who email, I'll give more information, I guess, at the end, but free 20-minute call for one person. People can email me and I'll choose somebody, but because I know how frustrating it can be. So that's something I'm working on, as well as I'm working on book 2.
Book 2?
Yes,
wow.
book 2, and it's already going to go to an editor, so I'm excited.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm typing in the box. So win a free 20-minute Discover Your God-Given Purpose and Call. And so they just need to email.
Yes, NY Blessings.
NY Blessings.
At gmail.com.
Gmail.com. And so do you want me to tweet that out too?
Sure. Yeah, if they can email me by, I don't know when the replay is going to be out, but anyone who emails me by November 3rd, Tuesday, November 3rd can qualify. The subject line can just be, I'm in.
November 3rd.
Yes.
Subject line, I'm in.
Yeah.
So we can put this in our chat box here and do that. I'm going to pop over here to Twitter, and I'm going to put that in there. Let's see. At Abound in Faith. Let me see. Whoops. There we go. Off the tweet goes.
Right.
Out there into the great world. So,
Right.
and what are some of the challenges that you're facing in all of that
Mhm.
as
Well,
you're working through?
yeah, even again, because my training is all in journalism, anything that I'm doing outside of it is a big stretch. It's out of my comfort zone. It's all new territory. So I am so not techie. I hope this encourages other people too, because I'm one of the last people to sign up for Facebook. I just recently joined Twitter and Instagram. I was, hesitant to get a smartphone. Like, I am not techie at all. So even though it's a challenge, I hope it encourages others too that, thank God for Google and YouTube, and there's tutorials, there's people you can ask in your circle, because there are other people who are very savvy with technology. So again, that's leading into your community and asking them to help out, or even to hire somebody to help you out. But so that's one of the challenges. I don't know if on your end too, you're just starting out when you're wearing all the different hats. It's like, oh my goodness, they didn't teach this in J school. I'm sure they're teaching it now, but not when I went.
Right. And that is because if you want to stay where you're out there, where people can find you, and you don't have a more traditional group of people who maybe aren't online, then you really have to stay up to date, and you have to find out where your people are.
Right.
And then you have to be there, whether it's in your comfort zone or not.
Right.
You have to get out there. So like with Blab, that's like not my comfort zone, but I can find that it's a little addictive to be able to, there's this something, and I guess Periscope's kind of the same way. There's this voyeurism of being able to sit back and watch what people are saying and doing.
Right.
But what I love about Blab is people can hop right in here and have a conversation with us if they want to. So I love that.
Right.
And they can continue to connect with us, because even if they're watching this on a recording, then they can go to they can find your Twitter handle, and they can go and connect with you on Twitter. They can email you. They can find you online. You're somebody brand new that they're going to learn about just because they took a few minutes to watch today. So as a life coach, you said that you really want to work with visionaries and people who are pursuing their passion and dream. Is there a particular type of entrepreneur that you just really feel like you can connect with, or is it just open to any and all entrepreneurs?
At this point, I'm open to any and all, because I know that they all have a passion and hunger. And I'm a Christian life coach, so I'm looking for, to help them out and just pray with them and to encourage them with the word, because I just feel like, God's placed dreams and desires in all of us. And so it's a matter of walking it out. And it's not going to happen overnight, and it can get very discouraging. And so I just want to kind of just be there to help them. And it's exciting to see people achieve their goals.
It is. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. So where does your faith, you've talked a lot about your faith and you're being led by the Lord, but where does your faith come into all of this, and being able to step out and go forward and wait on God, but look at what's happened while you're waiting? So where does your faith come into play in all that?
It's at the center. It's at the core of everything that I do. I'm prayerful about what I do and the decisions that I make. And I'm so passionate about being rooted and grounded in your identity in Christ. And if you read the Bible and if you see who you are, that you're chosen, that you're beloved, that God has you engraved on the palm of his hand, that you're not forgotten, that you're loved unconditionally, that gives you the strength and the courage. When you know that greater is he who's in you than he who's in the world, with God, you're unstoppable.
Amen. Amen. Is that the name of your second book, With God You're Unstoppable? Somebody better grab that title in a hurry, right? Better go and buy that domain name or something.
There you go. Like they say, with God, you're a majority. So again, because this road can be really tough and discouraging. And so when okay, but God's called me to this and he's leading the way and he'll part the seas, then that gives you confidence and not self-confidence, God confidence.
There is so much truth in that when you know you're not on your own. Because even though you may have tech problems or you may have tech challenges or any of the challenges that you have, he can make sure that you know exactly what you need to know when you need to know it and have it figured out and put you in contact with the right people at the right time and put those people around you. So even because the word of God says that in our weakness, he is made strong.
Yes.
So to be able to be bold enough to say, I'm weak here, gives him that opportunity to help you,
right.
to show up for you. So what keeps you motivated in moving forward, Nancy? Because as a solopreneur, you don't have your rah-rah team in your office every day saying, we could do this. So how do you keep motivated?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, I do have my family and friends who are praying for me, and I know they're praying even right now, so that's helpful. But also just thinking about my journey, but also other people's journeys, and I just want to encourage people to know that God is faithful, that this is not the end of their story. This is just the middle, to keep going, to not quit, that God will see them through. And I want to help them live that abundant life that Jesus promised in John 10:10.
Yeah.
We will have trials, we will have tribulations, but we're still victorious. So I just want to encourage people to keep going, to keep moving forward, and that it gets better. Sure, there are trials, there are challenges, but those are tests. Our faith gets strengthened, we grow, we stretch, and God loves us, and so he's just allowing us to go through those things to prepare us for what's to come.
Yeah, that's great. Great advice. Great advice. So as we are finishing up, we had your email address and we have this promotion. And we'll make sure that that's out there and we tweeted it out there. So hopefully you're going to have some people pop in there. But how can people get connected with you and stay connected with you, Nancy?
My website is aboundingfaith.com, and there's links to my book, my blog, YouTube channel, all the social media. So aboundingfaith.com. I'm now on Instagram and Twitter, so I'm kind of all over the place. I'm on Amazon too, so I have it here too.
Let's see. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, there you go. Waiting on God will. How to prevent breaking down on your way to your breakthrough.
Oh, golly. And I remember whenever we were talking about that is so powerful, how to not break down on the way to your breakthrough. And you give so much great advice in there. So if you were going to leave our watchers today with one great piece of advice, something they could do today that would help them either get started on their journey, other than registering and having that opportunity to get that free coaching with you, what is something else that you would encourage them to do today that could help that female entrepreneur who's just watching and she's going, I really want to do this, but I don't know if I can? What would you say?
I would say to even just have to take out a piece of pen and paper, surprise, and to write down, maybe just free write down, just maybe even 3 things, their goals, their dreams, just something that comes to mind. And even just putting it down on paper and seeing it, getting it out of their minds and just putting it on paper and prayerfully taking that next step. Again, so if they want to write a paragraph. You don't have to write the whole book in 10 minutes. Write a paragraph. Make that phone call. Send that email to that person. Whatever it is, just that one step that will get them closer to their bigger goal.
That's great advice. Great advice. Sometimes people say you should do the thing that makes you afraid first. But whenever we're just starting out, we're afraid. We can't. So to take that easy step, to do that one thing. Jeff Goins, who was so inspirational to me, and I don't know if you have followed him, but I heard him on a summit, Inspiring Authors Summit over a year ago. And he said, if you want to be a writer, the first thing you have to do is say and call yourself a writer. And just tell yourself every day, I am a writer. And so whatever that is that you want to do, start calling yourself by that name.
Right.
And then, like you said, don't just sit there and wait for something to happen. Get out there and do something. Learn a skill that has to do about that.
Small. And even if it's a little scary, okay, just take that first step or that next step. And if you're not sure, then look back, what's the last thing that God told you to do? Maybe you haven't done that yet. So
that's true. That's true. So Nancy, you have the free 20-minute Discover Your God-Given Purpose and Call, and they just need to email you at newyorkblessings@gmail.com and do this by November 3rd, which is just next week. And the subject line is I'm in. So if a person happens to be watching this in December and they still want to get in touch with you and talk to you about coaching, can they just send that an email to you and just talk to you anyway about that?
Yes, that's the email that they can sign up for my newsletter at any time.
Okay, terrific. And it's
Abounding Faith.
And it's abound in all of your resources and connect with you there, right?
Yes, aboundingfaith.com. Yes.
Terrific. Terrific. Thank you so much, Nancy, for being here today and for sharing your story. Is there anything you'd like to add before we finish up?
Oh, no, just that, it's been great spending this time with you and with everyone else who is watching or who will be listening on the replay. And thank you so much for your ministry and the work that you do as well. It's encouraging to see.
Thank you so much, Nancy. Thank you. We're so glad that you joined us today, and whether you're watching on the replay or watching live, we are so thankful that you stopped by today and spent some time with us. Please connect with Nancy at aboundinfaith.com, and please connect with me at donnawoolam.com, DonnaWoolam, donnawoolam.com, and we just want to serve you. The Success and the Female Entrepreneur Radio Show, the goal is to have that every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So we'll hope that you will join us. All kinds of successful women and women on the journey to entrepreneurship are going to be joining us. So take some time and join us live, or pop in and watch the recording and let us know that you did. Thanks, Nancy.
Thank you.
Bye.